Hey everybody, and welcome back to Life with Lolo. It is time for another weekly recap of The Chi. This is season 3, episode 10. This is the season finale, and it was titled A Couple 2 3. Alright, I'm just gonna let y'all know I did not like this episode. I did not like it. But I watched it because it was the season finale, and we had to finish up the episode, finish up the series, or the season, I should say. I did not like it. It was, first of all, it just left us wondering what was in the folder. I ain't like it. But I'm just gonna jump into it, y'all. So it opened up at Ronnie's funeral. So it was a nice little turnout. From what Ronnie's background was, it was surprising that a lot of people had showed up. We knew like the regulars was going to show up, and his friends from Springfield, and the ones who, his drinking buddies and stuff, we knew they was going to show up, and then Tracy, but like, and then Keisha, we knew they was going to show up too. But then it was like other people in the audience too. So Emmett came with Jada. Who else? The military came. It was a whole bunch of people. And that lady who sang at Ronnie's funeral, let me tell you, she sang, okay? She motherfucking sang that song. And somebody said on Twitter that it was the lady who went viral or something, who sung like this church song, and she sung it. Then I have to look back at the video and compare the two people, but I don't know if it was her or not, but all I know is that lady can sing, okay? But anyway, the pastor, he gets up there, he starts preaching about the spirit leaving the flesh and the spirit living on forever. We see Keisha, she having flashbacks of when Ronnie saved her and stuff. And it's parts that we didn't see. So like we saw the part where Keisha ran out the house and into the middle of the street, but we didn't see Ronnie come out of the house and was like, Keisha, and then he went and hugged her in the middle of the street. So I thought that was a real touching moment. And what else happened? So then the military got up. They gave Tracy his flag. They typically do that at the cemetery, but I guess they wanted to switch it up today. I don't know. But what else? Something else happened. Oh, so then the pastor said, if anybody has any last words to say, go ahead and say them and stuff. So the friend stood up. The dark-skinned guy, he stood up and said, we gonna miss you. No, what did he say? We love you, G. And then the light-skinned guy, he said, we gonna miss you. I'm sorry, I don't know their names. I don't know if do we ever know their names? Maybe they said them at one point, but I don't know. Tracy said, she stood up, she said that she was sorry. Yeah, because he could have been left, Tracy, and Ronnie would still be alive, okay? But no, you was trying to get your... Girl. Anyway, then we see Keisha. She stood up. She had her hair straight, and it was real cute. And she gets up with this beautiful dozen roses, puts it on his casket, and then says thank you. Then we see Emmett. They all at the cemetery and stuff, walking through and whatnot. And I'm not sure if it's after they buried him or like were they walking to bury him. But they're walking in the cemetery and they're talking. And here go Emmett. Man, they couldn't have shot him. Why they had to shoot him in front of my restaurant? Like, niggas can't have shit. Like, they couldn't have did it somewhere else or whatever. Jada, like, a dude just died. Like, come on now. Have some compassion. This ain't about you. And he like, yeah, you right. So then he sees Keisha. And so he goes to Keisha and says like, what's going on, how you doing and stuff. And she was like, I don't know, or how you feeling or something he said. And she was like, well, I don't know how I'm supposed to feel. And he said like, I forgot what he said, child. But anyway, he was like, well, what's wrong? You want to talk about it? She was like, I can't talk about it with you. And he was like, no, go ahead and tell me, talk to me or whatever. So she tells him that she's pregnant. He was just like, oh, wow. I think this is the first time a girl told me that she's pregnant, and I'm 100% sure it's not mine. I said, Emmett, if you don't go somewhere like, I didn't say he was trying to lighten up the mood and stuff like that, but no, sir. Not in this situation. Now, if it was like one of the dudes off the street that she was dating and she got pregnant by them, then okay. But like, no, not in this situation. And she was just like, and then she started walking off. He was like, oh, I'm sorry. And so he was like, well, what you going to do? She was like, I don't know what I'm going to do. So then we see Jake and Papa and Kevin. They, walking in the cemetery too with, the procession and stuff. And Jake was like, yo, I know a couple niggas that'll be glad that man did. And apparently the dude who shot Ronnie was Cole Coogie's best friend or whatever. I'm like, what? So, because I was looking on somebody's thing. is it Mark Daly? Mark something. And he does a lot of about the Shy and all that other stuff. And apparently, like, the guy was in a couple episodes this season. We saw him, like, he was, where was he at? He was, in the episode where it was the blackout and Kevin and Gemma was walking down the street, and they show him in a different episode too. I can't remember which one it was, but anyway, he was supposed to be Coogie's best friend, I guess, and then he sought revenge on Ronnie and stuff. I'm like, well, why they ain't do that in season 1? Like, why you wait till season 3 when Ronnie got his whole life right? That's when it happened. Shit just child. So then he wanted to shoot Ronnie, but whatever. So that's who the boy was. But anyway, Papa and Kevin was like, damn, that's cold or whatever. He was like, yeah, I'm just saying, like, and so Kevin was like, well, he saved my sister. And Jake was like, yeah, but that don't make him no saint. Like, he still killed somebody or whatever. So they was talking, and child, why they said Donnie McClurkin? Because Papa was saying something, and Jake was like, yo, say that preacher to your dad, for your daddy or whatever. And so Papa was like, oh, that I didn't get that from my daddy. I heard that on Yolanda Adams' podcast with Donnie McClurkin or something. They was like, the gay dude? Here go Papa. Apparently not anymore. I said, oh my God, why? Just why? But anyway, the cops pull up while they talking. They looking like, what are the cops doing here? The cops pull up. Child, they go arrest Papa Daddy. Papa Daddy, Stanley Jackson. He like, what y'all locking me up for? What's this going on? They was like, is you Stanley Jackson? He was like, yeah, but what's this all about? They patting him down and stuff like that. Then they put him, they handcuff him. And he was like, this ain't nothing but the devil. And then they put him in the dang on cop car. I was like, they couldn't have waited until after the funeral. They couldn't have picked him up somewhere else. Like, y'all had to really do it in a cemetery. Like, get the fuck out of here. The boys looking like, what's going on? Then we see Emmett and no, not Emmett. Was it Emmett? No. What's that child name? Emmett and Tiffany at the therapist. So the therapist looking like, because I guess they told her that they was getting married. And she looking like, well, that was fast. And they was like, yeah, but we ain't want to waste no time or whatever like that. And she was like, look, it's about time he asked me to marry him. I've been waiting for this forever and stuff. And so she was looking like, okay, so, like, y'all sure y'all ready? They like, what you mean, is we ready? Because we going to take the money from the wedding. We going to buy an apartment. We going to save up some money with my business and his business. We got money to save up and stuff like that. And so she was like, yo, is y'all trying to convince me or convince yourselves? They like, what you saying or whatever? And she was like, look, don't let the dashiki and the 3 degrees fool you. Like, I'm going to keep it real with you. Like, you don't have to rush into this. This is a big step, and this is a big commitment, and yada, yada, yada. They looking at her like, yeah, we know all that. So what you saying? We ain't mature enough to get married? Like, what? Huh? And so, Emmett was like, well, do we have your blessing or not? She was like, well, y'all don't need my blessing to get married. And not Keisha. Tiffany was like, oh, yeah, you right. And so she grabbed Emmett's hand and drags him off to the thing. He was like, oh, okay. So I said, So she don't even want to hear somebody saying, like, no, you don't need to be getting married. Then we see the boys. They at the, no, they was at Kevin's room or whatever. They talking about what happened with Papa's dad and stuff. Papa's stressed out. He like, I don't know what happened. Like, what's going on? Kevin and Jake getting high and whatever. And they try to figure out what, went down with Papa's dad and stuff. And so Papa like, look, I'm not all into this criminal stuff. Like, what's going to happen? Like, what's this all about? Stuff like that. They was like, well, I don't know. Did you ask your daddy and stuff? And Papa was like, well, you was almost a 63rd Street, in the 63rd Street gang, and Kevin and shot somebody. And they was like, yo, that was like, you went too far and stuff. He was like, look, I'm sorry, I'm just stressed out. This is too much for me. Like, if my dad go to jail, who supposed to take care of my mama, and I'm gonna have to take care of Maisha? This is too much. I said, Papa. They was like, look, hit this blunt, because you doing too much or whatever. So he was just like, this is too much or whatever. Oh, then Gemma, in between there, Gemma had text Kevin saying that she was here for him if he needed somebody to talk to and whatnot. Then we see Duda. He watching the election scores and stuff. He watching TV. He in his office. Some dude come in there and he like, yo, you got a second? Let's talk. So Duda was like, oh, I'm about to head out. I got this court thing or whatever. And so the guy was saying, like, Papa's dad got arrested for money laundering, and he don't want to go to jail, so he down there singing like a canary. Duda looked worried or whatever. Then we see Kevin. No, why do I keep saying Kevin? I put initials, y'all, because the way my right wrist is hurting, I couldn't really type up. So I'm trying to remember who Keisha, because there's a lot of K's in this show, and I forgot. So Keisha and Jada are talking, and Jada is saying, like, look, your mom said you wanted to talk to me about something, and whatever you talk about is confidential. It's between me and you. So she was asking her, like, what should she do and stuff, and she was like, well, I was young when I had Emmett, and but I wish I would have known what my options were back then, because back then they made it seem like you had to have the baby. And she was like, but I knew, but what she said, I know now that wasn't true and stuff like that. And so she was like, well, I don't want to make the wrong decision and something like that. So then Jada was like, look, I know you came to me to talk, but I think you need to talk to somebody else. So and we see Trig and his girl, Amani, they getting dressed and stuff. Well, she dressing him. She trying to put his tie on and stuff. And he nervous. She like, I know you nervous because your damn neck muscles all tight. I can't even get this tie on. Calm down or whatever. He nervous. He questioning, like, what if Jake move in? Like, what if he don't like it here? What if I can't lead the family? Like, what if this fall through? What if the judge don't say yes and stuff? And she like, calm down. Like, what happens if she does say yes? Like, then we gonna be a family and stuff. We gonna lead together. Like, I got your back type thing. And I thought that was real cute. Then we see Keisha sitting down with Tiffany. So Keisha is sitting down with Tiffany. And Tiffany tells Keisha that she's sorry, that she went through all this and stuff. Because Keisha over there, she crying. She looks sad. And Tiffany like, Jada told me you wanted to talk about something, but she didn't tell me what it was. And so Keisha was just like, I'm pregnant. And she was like, oh, okay. And so then Tiffany starts to tell her, because I think Keisha said, well, what would you do or something? And Tiffany starts telling her how she had an abortion. So she was pregnant, because last season she was pregnant. And people kept saying she was pregnant. And I was like, they did say she was pregnant, but she was smoking weed, she was drinking and stuff like that. So then we find out what happened. So she said that she had to think about it. She had to do some soul searching and whatnot. And she came to terms with she had to have an abortion, because she said, like, the child that she had now was all that she could bear and that all that she could handle and stuff like that. So she ended up having an abortion. And so Keisha was like, well, how long did you take the soul search? And she was like, I took a few weeks or whatever, but you can't lag with that type of stuff. And she was like, okay. She was like, well, whatever decision, just trust yourself with whatever decision you make and stuff like that. And so Keisha started crying. She was like, girl, you're gonna make me cry. And I said, look, what y'all not finna do is make me cry up in here. Child, at the funeral, I was about to cry. I said, Lord, what is going on? I don't know these people. So Tiffany got up and ended up hugging Keisha, like consoling her type thing. We see the boys, they at the pizzeria, they cleaning up. They mad, they gotta work. They like, why the fuck he got us in here working and shit like that? Jake like, look, I know I gotta go to court in a couple hours or whatever, but he hopes that Trig wins and he gets to go, be with Trig and stuff like that, because he don't want to be with Duda. And he's saying, like, he hoped Trig got his stuff together so he can pretty much go and live with Trig. Papa's daddy walks into the pizzeria and he's telling, at first I thought he was there to see Duda, but he was there, I guess, to see Papa, because he was telling the boys, like, it was all a misunderstanding, like, what happened was a misunderstanding or whatever like that. And Papa like, what was the misunderstanding? Like, what happened? Like, what went down and stuff like that? And Papa dad don't want to tell him. And he was like bucking up. I said, who is this? That shit shocked me. I said, is this Papa? Because he was getting rowdy with his dad and stuff. And his dad really wasn't saying that. And then he was like, the dad was like, you still a child or something like that. He was like, well, I ain't going to be no child forever. And then Papa walked off. I said, oh, the dad ain't even say shit. He was just standing there stuck. We see at Camille's campaign place, Rose walks in. And Rose is like, why you not using the information that we gave you in that file? And so Camille, she go into this whole thing about being a saint and how she not going to be nobody's pawn and how she above the rest and blah, 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 blah. Like, girl, stop. Like, just use the file. Tell us what was in the fucking file. Can we know what was in the file? Like, damn. That was so annoying. Like, they got us all amped up and ready and whatnot, and then you ain't even gonna tell us what was in the file. And then Camille on her whole, oh, I'm better than this and all this other stuff, but you was giving bribes and giving money to the people to have you speak at their damn function and stuff like that. So, girl, dismiss me with that shit. So, she basically told Rose, like, I see what you was doing. You mad at him because he not treating you right. He's talking to you any old kind of way. So you want to try to use me to be your pawn. But what's not fitting to happen is I'm not doing that. I'm playing a clean game and yada, yada, yada. That don't make you better than Duda. Like, come on. Like, you, and even Rose was like, well, we both know he ain't shit. Like, why would you let him win? Like, why would you let him get that power to be in the office and stuff like that? You want to make all these changes and all this other stuff, and I get it. She want to make these changes. She want to show people how you can do good and blah, blah, blah. Don't nobody care. Don't nobody care. Don't nobody care. You can't make changes if you're not in the goddamn office to make said changes. Like, come on now, Camille. She made me mad with that shit. But anyway, she told Rose as Rose was walking off, like, oh, you still look good in that outfit. And that the red lipstick is popping and stuff. I said, stop. Just stop. Oh, we see Emmett. He at, home, Jada's apartment or whatever. He trying on his suit. Darnell helping him out. We see Tiffany in the other room. She trying on like wedding dresses and stuff. So Emmett was trying on different suit jackets and stuff like that. Tiffany had like a whole bunch of dresses in the room. She was trying on different dresses and whatnot. Jada gave her the earrings. And I was like, well, damn, is she getting married today? Like, what's going on? But she wasn't. They was talking. Jada was basically, Tiffany thanked Jada for, helping her out and standing in for her mom. Because I guess Tiffany mom was like, no, I'm not going to support you marrying Emmett or whatever like that. But I'm like, at this point, Tiffany already know Emmett ain't shit. She already know that he a cheater. She already know these things about her, about Emmett or whatever like that. She got a whole child by this man. Like, come on now. She not going nowhere, obviously. She's still with this man. So the mama gonna have to just get with it or just not. So I guess she said she not. Jada stood in for Tiffany mom, and Jada was like, well, if I was your mama, I wouldn't approve of you marrying my son either. And so they laughing. Emmett like, I can hear y'all or whatever. They like, we don't care, boy. And so then they was talking about how Tiffany keeps putting up with Emmett's shit and all this other stuff. Then Emmett is talking to Darnell, and he was like, Dad, he was like, well, he didn't say that. He was like, Darnell, thank you for, giving me these suit jackets and stuff like that. I know these cost the grip. How was you able to afford this? He was like, oh, don't worry about that, man. We got the hookup or whatever. He was like, oh, okay. Why Emmett put the jacket on, child? The tag was still... Not only was the tag still on the suit jacket, but the damn sensor was still on the suit jacket. I was cracking up. He was like, the hookup, did you steal these? He was like, no, man. We just borrowed them for a while. We gonna give them back. I said, oh my God. So Emmett busts in the room with Tiffany. She like, you can't see me before that wedding and stuff. And he was like, forget all that. We can't wear this crap anyway because it's stolen. She was like, well, we ain't gonna wear this. We ain't gonna wear this but one time. We better get use it while it's free or some shit, she said. I said, oh my God, the ghetto. Darnell like, I knew it was the reason why I liked you or whatever. I said, oh my goodness. We see Jake with Trig. They in the elevator, and Imani is back there too. They both talking about how nervous they are, and they hope that the judge, because Jake was like, well, I hope that the judge allows me to live with you or whatever like that. But regardless of what the judge said, you always gonna be my family. We see Imani in the background. She's smiling and whatnot. Then we see Tiffany lingerie party. It said Mrs. to Mrs. with all my bitches. I said, oh, okay. She had a cute little lingerie outfit on. So she coming out there stunting for him, popping and whatnot. Jada like, girl, can you get dressed a little bit so we can drink these mimosas and play these games? So they drinking. They playing like the groom knows all. Emmett got all the answers wrong, except for, of course, the one where it was talking about her ass and shit. And he also said that she was loyal. And she was like, well, I am loyal to a friend. I'm loyal or whatever. Jada says, welcome to the family. She gained a daughter and whatnot. At the court, we see Jake. he said he stands up and tells the judge he doesn't want to live with Mr. Perry anymore. He says Jake is his family, and he's been, getting to know Trig. He's been having a good time with Trig, so he wants to live with Trig, basically. So we look over there. Duda ain't even there, child. Rose is like, well, I know he wanted to be here, so it had to be something real important for him not to be here. The judge like, yeah, but this was important as well. And with his failure to appear, I don't have no choice but to rule in Trig's favor or whatever. She didn't say Trig. She said his last name. I don't know. Don't give me I don't know. But anyway, she knocked on the thing, and then she went on about her business. Rose looks upset, but I was like, is she really upset? Like, or she just mad that she ain't win? Because she like to win. So I don't know if she was mad for real, or just mad she ain't win. Anyway, we see the boys, they counting their tips. We heard Jake is quitting because he like, I can't work for this nigga no more. And they was like, yeah, we understand. Kev, he gonna go smash Gemma. Then we see Maisha, she walk in, and Papa like, oh, what you doing here? How'd you know I was here? And so she was like, well, they told me. He was like, oh man, y'all, my boys or whatever. So he walks off with Maisha. She says thank you and stuff. And here go Kev. Oh, they just grew up so fast or some shit. I said, these boys is a hot mess. They funny to me. We see Papa and Maisha, they over there in the booth and stuff, and she gave him M chain and whatnot. And because remember he said he wanted people to know that they was dating and stuff. So she said she got the hottest boy in the game wearing her chain. I thought that was real cute. And basically they was talking about how they support each other, how they always got each other's back. And she was asking, well, have you talked to your dad about what's going on? And he was like, no, I haven't talked to him because he's not going to tell me the truth. And she was like, well, you need to talk to him and stuff. And he was saying, well, I don't even know what to say to him because I'm so mad and whatnot. And he was like, but I got to honor my father and stuff. And Maisha's head said, shit, she dropped a real jewel. She was like, sometimes you gotta honor yourself. I said, girl, if you don't speak that truth, if you don't speak that truth. We see Darnell, child. He taking Emmett to like a massage parlor, so they in this sauna or whatever. Emmett, he had his Darnell had covered up Emmett's eyes and stuff. So Darnell take his hands down. And Emmett like, well, what's this? Where my boys at? Where the strippers at? He was like, look, the strippers was too expensive. The boys, I ain't know their phone number and nothing like that. Come on back here and get this massage, boy. So you making this about you, Darnell ain't shit. So we back with Tiffany. They smoking weed, they talking and stuff like that. It's a banging at the door. They talking about police. I'm like, oh Lord, it's a stripper. So they talking about it's a noise complaint, and it's this cute little like stud at the door or whatever. She like, it's a noise complaint or whatever. Tiffany, I'm looking like, Tiffany, you don't see that this is a stripper. Like, this don't even look like no real, I mean, it kind of, the colors was there. So, like, the colors for the cop uniform was there. But other than that, no. But anyway, she was just like, oh my God, we gonna turn it down. We gonna turn it down. She was like, oh no, you been rowdy. We gonna have to, I forgot what she said. Jada, like, so, Tiffany was looking like real concerned. Like, oh my God, like, what is going on here? Jada was like, well, girl, you said you're on like male strippers or whatever, so here you go. So they turn on the music. The girl, she was doing it. Like, she was doing, you know, her little dance and stuff, the body roll, all this other stuff. My thing is, she was doing basically the same shit that the male stripper would do, all that aggressive stuff, like picking you up and flipping you and all this other stuff. That's why I don't go to like gentlemen's club. Well, not gentlemen's clubs, because that's where the strippers be at sometimes. Even though it's a barbershop here called a gentlemen's club. Anyway, so, like, what is this? Something male reviews. I don't like going to them or the male strip clubs because they be too aggressive. Like, they want to pick you up. They want to throw you all up. Whipped cream all up. Like, come on. I just came to watch you dance. Like, I don't want to be part of the show. Like, if I want to be part of the show, I'll get my ass up there on the motherfucking pole. So, like, I was just like, what don't she like about male strippers? If she don't like the ding-a-ling swinging or something like that? Because if she ain't like the whole theatrics of it, then Jada, you just defeated the purpose. Like, give me a female stripper who gonna shake her ass, shake some titties in my face, and pop locking and drop it low without me being part of the show. Because that's what I like to see. Like, you gonna do your stunts, but don't make me a part of them. Because I mean, not the male stripper, the girl stripper, she did good, but I was just like, she's still doing all the stunts and all the theatrics. So what about the male stripper didn't Tiffany really like? Because she doing all the stuff that they be doing, like all that in your face, and I wasn't happy with it. She should have got some booty shakers or something. God damn. Anyway, but I guess Tiffany had a good time. She wasn't complaining. Child, why Darnell in the goddamn dressing room? He getting stripped. Why this fool still had on his goddamn socks? Talk about he don't know these people. He ain't trying to get no foot fungus or some shit. I was cracking up. And then why he still had that motherfucking Bluetooth? Why he still had that Bluetooth in his ear? Darnell is a fucking fool. He walk into the back with Emmett and he talk about prenups. He talk about you ain't gonna be poor all your life, and I hope not, because I want you to take care of me. Then he talking about the wife about to make you sad and miserable. She about to suck the life out of you, and then you gonna be sad and stuff. Take it from me, because he been married 4 times. I was just like, oh my God, Emmett. Like, don't listen to this man, because it could be, you could be happy, like whatever. At one point Emmett was just like, Darnell, just shut up, like be quiet, I don't feel like listening to you no more. What else happened? Oh, so then they in the back, they chilling there. Emmett look all nervous and stuff, he can't relax and whatnot, and I'm like, that guilty conscience got your ass. But the 2 ladies come out to do the massage. She was like, okay, y'all ready for y'all couples massage? Emmett like, couples massage? We ain't no couple. Darnell was like, well, that's how we could get it free. I said, this nigga. So Emmett like, no, I can't do this with you, because I can't relax with knowing that you beside me and you try and get a happy ending and blah, blah, blah. I said, oh my goodness, I would have went back there with that couple's massage and tuned Darnell the fuck out. Like, just shut up. Just listen to the music and let the lady rub on me. So Emmett got up and left. He goes to the house, Tiffany on the couch, she's asleep or whatever. He wakes her up a little bit, they talking, he's saying that he not perfect, and I'm still thinking he thinking about what he did. He's saying he not perfect and whatnot. She like, yeah, I know you're not perfect and stuff. He talking about he brought her a sandwich from aisle. She like, you know, I don't like my sandwich dipped. He say, well, I got it the regular way or some shit, because he was trying to get some. They bow cheeky wow wow on the couch, child. We see Camille. She lost. Big surprise there. She lost. She giving her speech about how she gonna change the world one day, and change takes time and all this other bullshit. She was saying, God bless you and good night. So Rose, then we see Rose, she well, not Rose, we see Duda, and Rose is there with him. She congratulates him and stuff, and she was like, well, why wasn't you at the hearing and stuff? And he was like, why choose one when I can have both brothers or whatever? And then he starts to smile. We see Keisha, she in the clinic, she's staring at the clock. Nina comes in, and Keisha was like, I can't, she was, you know, she asked her if she okay. She was like, I can't do this or whatever. So she starts to cry. Next we see them in the waiting room, and she asks her again, like, you sure this is what you want to do or whatever? You want to have this baby? Keisha was like, I'm not sure, but all I know is I can't go back in that room. What if Ronnie's mom would have aborted him? Where would I be? I said, girl, And then we see them at the house. So Nina is in Keisha's room, and Kevin comes in the door, and he hears Keisha crying, and Nina's just talking to Keisha, you know, consoling her and stuff like that. And Nina was like, whatever you need or whatever you want, we'll hear. We got your back and stuff like that. And Kevin was like, got your back on what? What's going on? And so Keisha looked up and was like, I'm pregnant. Kevin was thinking what everybody else was thinking. You pregnant with that monster's baby? Oh, no, you can't keep that. You got to get rid of that or whatever. And Nina like, Kevin, like, shh. And he gets mad. He storms out the door. I was with Kevin. I couldn't do it. Like, I honestly could not do it. I could not raise a child that was my rapist. Like, I couldn't even carry the baby. Like, cause like when you pregnant, you like excited, you feel the first kicks, like you all this stuff, like who the baby gonna look like, I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. She's stronger than me, cause I couldn't do it. We see Amani, she at the table eating with Jake. They having dinner or something like that. He asking her, you know, like, I didn't know you could cook and stuff. And then he was asking her what manslaughter is. And then she tells him, you know, it's like when you kill somebody, but it wasn't your fault. And he was like, well, who you kill? And I was like, they told him about, okay. So, she was like, my dad. He was like, well, why you kill your dad? He had all the questions, child. So she was like, What'd she say? She said, oh, because he wanted a son or something like that. And Jake was like, oh, okay, I understand that. I understand that. I know what you are. And she was like, well, what am I? He was like, what did he say? I forgot what he said. But he said, oh, you feel different on the inside. So you, what did he say? Something about you look different on the outside and you feel a different way on the inside. Something along those lines. And she was like, that's right. That's right. He was like, so she was like, well, how you feel about that? He was like, I don't give a fuck. And she was like, for real? He was like, yeah, it's like not a big deal. I read about it when I was in school and stuff. And she was like, oh, I like this little fancy school. And, she was like, no, he was like, cause I think Jake was like, shit, what did he say? Oh, well, can he still go to the school? So even though he be talking mad shit about the school, he like it there. So he wanted to know. And so Imani was like, yeah, we will try to work something out to help you keep going to that school and stuff. So we see Papa in church. Then he goes home and then he runs to his dad and then he asks his dad, like, did you do it? And his dad was like, you know, I wanted y'all to have the finer things in life. I wanted y'all to travel. I wanted y'all to do all this stuff. And Papa like, we don't need to do all that. We ain't need all that. All we need is you and stuff. And so he says that Papa's dad was like, well, I'm not a bad man. I'm just ambitious. And so Papa was like, well, what kind of man will I be? And the dad was like, a better one than me. And so he hugged him and stuff. So this episode, they was talking about the mama a lot in this episode. More than they have in the last episode. So the daddy was over there sleeping with Angela, up there cheating with that hoe. I knew it. And he up here preaching the good word. Then we see Jake. He fussing about doing the dishes. Because he like, well, I'm about to watch TV. She was like, you need to get these dishes. And he was like, what? Can I just get them, you know, before bed and stuff? She was like, you can get these dishes right now. And then you can go to bed. Or not go to bed. Then you could do whatever you know you want. He was like, oh, so this is what this going to be about and stuff. She was like, what is you talking about? Look, he was like, you telling me what the fuck to do? She was like, look, what you not finna do is cuss. You want to respect me. Look, I had an evil stepmom, so I know how I feel. I'm not trying to be that, but what you going to do is respect me, and we going to work as a team or whatever. And so she was like, because I'm trying to teach you responsibilities and stuff. And he was like, I'm responsible? She was like, he's like, sometimes. So they kind of chopped it up like that, and then he saw her point and stuff, and then so he gathered up the dishes and stuff. We see Kevin. He at Gemma's. He's sitting down. He's talking to her, and she was like, well, how's things going? He was like, I'm going through a lot of stuff right there. She was like, well, you want to talk about it? He was like, no, not really. And she was telling him that she goes to therapy because she tried to commit suicide, and he said he went to therapy. And she was like, well, maybe you should go back. And he was like, well, do you like your therapist? And she was like, yeah, he a black gay man with a third eye. What's not to like? And so he was like, yeah, that sounds cool. So she said she told her therapist that she wanted to sleep with Kevin. That was going to be her first time. And the therapist was like, well, make sure you're ready or whatever. And she said she was ready. Next thing we see, child, they done bow chicky wow wow. They in the bed talking about some... was it supposed to be that fast? Yeah. She was like, well, according to Google, you know, yeah. I was just like, according to Google, what? So they talking about what they gonna do the next day. I was like, where is Gemma daddy at? Where's the daddy? Because I'm surprised he let her off lockdown and he don't got somebody in the house watching her every goddamn move. Next we see Jada. She getting Tiffany ready. She was getting Tiffany ready, and Tiffany nervous and stuff, so Jada kind of calm her down. Then we saw Jada talking to Emmett, and Emmett is asking some advice and stuff, and she was like acting her absence as you would in her presence. Then we see Kevin and Gemma, they come in. We see Trig and Imani chilling, they on the couch chilling or whatever like that. It's a knock at the door. It's Duda. This whole scene really made me mad, and I was so disappointed in Trig. So Duda came in there, and they congratulate each other and whatnot. And then Duda was he told Trig that he was going to help keep Jake in the school and stuff. And he was like, no, we don't need that from you, man, or whatever. And so Duda was like, well, I didn't come to that court appearance on purpose, because if I did, you wouldn't have got him and stuff like that. And so he asked Trig to work in the streets for him, run this, do that, and all this other stuff, teaching the game and all this other stuff. And Trig was like, no, I'm not interested in that. I'm not trying to go back to jail. And then Duda was like, oh no, I'm switching out the chief of police for my head security guy, so ain't nobody going to touch you and stuff like that. And so Trig ain't even like really think about it after that. He was just like, yeah. And me and Imani both was real like, nigga. Like, we did all this for you to be underneath this man's thumb. And then freaking dude walks out or walks away and was like, it's a new motherfucking sheriff in town. I was like, come on, yo. Like, Trig, you could have told him, no, kiss my fucking black ass. I'm not working for you. I don't give a fuck. Yada, yada, yada. Like, come on. I was so irked with him. I was just so irked. Then the last thing, we see the wedding. And I don't know, for some reason, I thought Emmett was going to ruin his wedding and say he was, you know, he cheated or whatever, but he didn't. They ended up getting married. They had the son there, Kevin, Gemma, Jada, and Darnell. They were right there. They got married like the Justice of the Peace or whatever like that. Then he carried her back to the house, to Jada's apartment, mind you. And then they made love. I was like, you couldn't afford a hotel for one night. I mean, if you don't get the fuck out of my... I was like, back to the couch. Like, you couldn't have gotten a hotel room for the child. Then we see Papa. He brought Maisha a chain. We see Amani doing Jake's hair. They look like they was having like a cute little time because Trig was throwing water at him and stuff. It was cute. Then Kev, he looked like he left Gemma's house again, child. I said, well, damn, like, what the fuck? He going home smiling. Then Nina and Dre, they happy, smoking weed, dancing and whatnot. Then we see Keisha, she was staring off. She get like she had out a text message or something, but we didn't see what it was, or maybe it was her alarm. I'm not sure. But anyway, next thing we see her getting up, she outside, and she just starts running, and that's how they ended the show. I said, this is what we really gonna do? I was just like, I really did not like this episode. The season was like, like, yeah, like any time the show usually ends, like when season 1 and 2 came on and then they ended, I was like, oh, when's the next season coming on? When's the next season coming on? This one, I was just kind of like, if it comes on, it comes on. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But, like, what y'all thought about this season? What y'all thought about this episode? Go ahead and put that in the comments down below. And go ahead and like this video if you like the content of this video, or you like this review, I should say. And go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you're not subscribed to my channel and you're watching this video. And then go ahead and hit that notification bell to be notified when I drop new videos. All right, y'all. Until next time. Peace.